Meanwhile, Coco is at 602 damage per minute, so over 120 more DPM for Coco. So where's the carry from KT coming out of it? The answer is Sunday, who does 26.9% of his team's damage, which is by far the highest of any top laner in Champions.
Well, I mean, that's Someday. That's a style he likes to go for, and we'll see if Longzhu gives him those kind of champions. I feel like when we've seen KT struggle, it's really been when they put Someday on those more tanky top laners, and he can't quite be the carry that he was born to be.
He needs to be on GP or Fior or something like that. The Bard ban, pretty frequent against players like Pure or Madlife.
Yep.
Game-changing champion if you have the skill at the highest level.
Yeah, and Longzhu coming into this one pretty hot after that win over SK Telecom.
And interesting, Longzhu is actually the team banning Nidalee here, so it's not what we expected to see. Clearly have something else in mind for their first pick. Of course, we have a lot of these picks on the board. The Rise was nerfed a little bit.
Kog'Maw banned, and I would guess we're probably going to see that banned for most of the games, while Kog'Maw remains in his really strong 6.3 form.
I'm a little bit surprised by that too, because I would have thought on red side that KT would leave it up and try and get it in the first round of the draft on red side, because Arrow is, of course, a long-time Kog'Maw player, played it last week. They lost with it, but
sure. Callista banned. So the AD carry choice is rapidly dwindling along with that Corki ban, although generally you do see him in the mid lane these days. So what's the last ban going to be? Are they going to maybe give the Alistar over to Pure?
This doesn't really affect KT that much, though, because they played mostly Lucian this season.
I think what do you say, ban the Alistar or something else? Yeah, try to get the Fiora for someday maybe. There's a Lissandra ban.
GP, Fiora, both still up. Rarity. A rarity for sure, and Gangplank will be the selection for Longzhu. That will mean Alistar. They don't have to take the Fiora right now, although the GP could go mid lane for Coco. Definitely should take the Alistar, however.
Yeah. You'd assume Flame is going to play the Gangplank just because that's much more his style of champion, but it could get flexed if they need it.
Take the Gragas here too.
Yeah. Now, Ryze did get some nerfs. Do you really think we're going to see him prioritize that much?
Probably not to the same degree as before.
Seems likely. What's the second pick going to be for KT Rolster? Elise, okay. Sure, Gragas, ignored so far. Unless they swap it over.
Yeah, KT has preferred Elise. You can see his score is making some really interesting faces tonight. Lulu.
Ah, well, Lulu is available too, I suppose. Okay, Alistar Lulu.
Definitely going to take the Lulu first and foremost. It fits their identity as a team better, with Fly being more of a utility mid laner.
True.
Don't want to let that one through. KT, they've been running some really weird compositions recently. We saw them run the Rammus top to great effect against Jynneos Triple AD, but they also tried to run Zillion Rammus Corki, and they lost that game because they didn't have any late game damage at all.
Oh, we have been seeing the Rumble Jungle too. KT and a few other teams, a couple other teams. I feel like Gragas maybe for Chaser. We'll see though. Right now they're just messing with us. Ziggs did get buffs, so watch out. Hopefully not enough buffs to actually get him picked.
Lucian and Elise, so they're going to make the most of all of the bans that we have seen go through against these AD carries, and that's going to put Arrow on pretty low priority AD carry pick, possibly Caitlyn, a pick that we don't generally see here in Korea.
I mean, if anybody wants to play that Kog'Maw desperately, you'd think it'd be Arrow. So, I mean, going back to the picks and bans, it's a little bit surprising that they didn't try to grab that one.
I think if anything, they should have banned Lissandra second, and then once they realized that GP and Lulu and Alistar were all going to be up, they should have just taken the Kog'Maw and banned something else.
I suppose.
But it's okay. It's not going to be in this game in any event. I don't like the Lulu-Ezreal combination, generally speaking. We saw SKT try to run that against in their loss against Africa. Ashe, not going to be that great as a frontliner either with a Lulu.
Well, I suppose they'd be going for a bit of a pick comp, but they're going to need some more damage, it seems like, aren't they?
Well, this was KT's problem, as I was saying in that other game, where they picked a very low damage composition. So they're going to save their last pick for top lane, and that's probably where the damage is going to come from, but they have to get something strong. Now, Fiora obviously would be great with the Lulu, get into the back line, get
Quinn.
the wild growth. Yep, Quinn would work. Although Quinn is not the best team fighting champion.
Yeah, good at cleanup, but not so much in cage.
Well, you have good engage with the Ashe already, so if you play around Ashe Arrow with the Quinn, that could also be powerful in terms of creating that pick composition, but team fighting would be a little more off the table, and at that point, why do you take the Lulu, really? Lulu, definitely a team fighting style of champion, so will be Flame on the Gangplank in the top lane.
Yeah, Twisted Fate for Coco, Braum for Pure.
Yeah, taking the Braum, pretty easy pick when you see the Ashe come in, able to block that arrow.
They need damage here.
They have to get damage, otherwise they're going to be ending up in a very similar situation to their Corki, Zillion, Rammus game that was not very great to watch, honestly. We haven't seen any Fizz this season.
That'd be a mid lane Fizz for Fly, I suppose, but putting all your damage hopes into Fly seems a bit unwise.
You take Fiora here. It gives you the most versatility. You can split push with the Fiora, just like you could with the Quinn, but also has a lot more presence in team fights, and you have that Lulu to back Fiora up, and someday, very skilled Fiora player.
Fiora certainly does seem like the way to go. KT looks like they agree. A couple seconds left over, unless they change it over. Looks like it'll be that Fiora for someday up in the top lane, and it will. Fiora. Okay, so they've got their damage, but can they make the picks? We know Arrow can be pretty decent at hitting those Ashe arrows.
Yeah.
Arrows.
Yes, arrows coming back in this game. Still a nice pick composition here for Longzhu. They have some good kill pressure with the Elise and the Twisted Fate for dives and global ultimate from Gangplank. So Longzhu has a lot of opportunities to try and make plays onto the Alistar and the Ashe in the laning phase, and that's going to mean KT has to play very safely, because Ashe will be vulnerable if she's pushed too far up and they start coming in with a turret dive, or even with punishing an overextension in the lane makes for some easy kills.
Yep.
Braum passive too, another thing that could nail them down early. I wouldn't be surprised if KT just wants to lane swap this.
Well, we will see who takes this match between Longzhu and KT. It's a big one. Both of these teams dead even in the standings. A win here would bump them up to tie them with Samsung and Jin Air, with a chance to be a little bit ahead on just game score.
Yeah, and this is going to be a big test for KT. They have to come out strong here, show that they are not slumping in the latter half of the first round robin.
Right. And so that means it is time, guys. Longzhu versus KT Rolster. Let's get in the game. All right, and here we are in our second best of three of the night. KT Rolster taking on Longzhu Gaming to see who comes out ahead at the end of the first half of round one here on OGN Champions Spring, and Flame gets the start along with Chaser and Coco. So Longzhu trying something a bit different than we've seen in previous weeks.
Yeah, they've been pretty committed to keeping those three-man units of top, get over the wall, top jungle and mid together, and just hot swapping them as a group, but not going to be the case this time. Expression out, Flame in, despite the fact that Expression played very well in their win over SK Telecom.
Luckily, all the players on Longzhu appear to be hot swappable. They all have USB ports.
Well, Longzhu is going to call this lane swap, and this is KT, as suspected, definitely wanting to get out of a dangerous situation in the laning phase, but they will not be so lucky, and in fact they're going to go for a interesting jungle invade right now. They are seen by a ward.
Huh.
Uh-oh. So they're trying to be tricky and stop the jungle, but they're not there. And guess who's waiting in the bush?
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
All right. Captain Jack and Pure are right there. Here comes Arrow, and they got to play this one safe. Arrow on the side. Yeah, there's a W to reveal him. Yep. They had a feeling something like that was going on.
Yeah, but they're split up now, and it's going to be okay. They're not going to play too aggressively right here, but Pure and Captain Jack getting a very slight advantage. Good thing Arrow did check that brush. Otherwise, it could have been disastrous. I mean, you don't see the AD carry on the map right there. You know where their top laner is. You see him in the bottom side, and you don't see anybody in the enemy jungle at Gromp, so odds are good that they are waiting in that river brush.
Yep. Someday versus Flame down the bot lane. GP versus Fiora should be a pretty good 1v1. Let's see if Flame gets to scale like he wants to.
That is Flame's favorite thing.
He does.
Scaling.
He does love to scale.
He's a scaler.
Yep, true enough. Other than that, it's probably going to be a pretty slow start to this one.
Yeah, Arrow and Hachani just going to have to play very conservatively in this lane. Try and wait out, weather the storm of the Gangplank ult and the TF ultimate. Coco actually just going in, finds score. Nice little ward right there, keeping some eyeballs in. Pure and Captain Jack now coming down to contest this red buff. Man, they are being jerks.
They're trying to be jerks anyway. Score's not going to go for the red yet. Looks like Captain Jack starts the red buff. Pure's there. They brought in Chaser too. They're going to try to steal this buff away. And Score thinking about coming over the wall to try to stop it.
He has eyes on it. So.
He does have a ward. Oh, wow, the buff reset too.
How much does he want this is the question. I don't think
Not
he wants
that
it that badly.
Doesn't want to give up first blood for it. Which is probably what he would have had to do in a 1v3 at half health.
Yeah, good read though. They get the ward in, very nicely played. Good map control here from Longzhu. They get the standard lanes that they want. They push them in early in mid and top lane, and then they're able to do that. Very similar to what we saw the Rocks Tigers doing in the last game. And Peanut's a great player, but Peanut was also incredibly enabled by his teammates in that last game, and that's more of what we're seeing right now. Playing around a strong carry jungler like both Longzhu and the Rocks Tigers have can yield some very nice results, and at least in the early part of this game, they will be getting a 3 buff as the Elise just walks in, goes red to red, and then back to her own blue buff, and that leaves Score with just a little bit of counter jungling here on the Raptors, and they have a ward there, so Coco's going to try and steal this one with the wild cards, but Fly's doing a good job of zoning him away.
Yep, pushing that up so that he can't quite walk down and try to take the Raptors.
Score also used his smite, so gets the Raptor buff too, and making his way. No early moves here. Fly trying to punish Coco early underneath his tower. And
speaking of punishing, somebody's a little bit low, but they're going to try to dive this anyway. Flame on his own. He's got his flash. Going to try to turn back onto Someday. Flame taking a lot of damage. Someday soaking all those turret hits. Flame doing really well, keeping himself alive for the moment anyway. Are they going to turn around? No, that parlay should change their minds.
They messed up the turret aggro right there. They should not have had Someday tanking that when he was
Chaser
still
coming
low.
in. Cocoon onto Fly. Fly could be in a little bit of trouble. Might have to flash here. Flashes. There's the flash from Chaser. They get the first blood. Nice repel just to avoid a lot of that damage, and Longzhu strikes first.
Fly thought he was outside of Cocoon range right there. Otherwise, he would have flashed. Coco TP to the mid lane turret to get back into lane and able to chain the stuns together to pick up the kill, and that is really bad to give that Twisted Fate that first kill of the game right now. He still has the Destiny up and available. Fly will have to use his TP to get back into mid. So, bit sloppy there. Fly definitely could have gotten out of that. He just didn't want to commit to using his flash, uses it anyway.
Well, Chaser on the roam again, comes up, and now Twisted Fate's going to join him up in top lane. Gold card onto Achani after he flashes. Gets taken out easily. Longzhu looking good early on in this one.
Well, it's like what I said in Champ Select. That's going to be the lane they target as soon as TF hits 6. They have all the CC they need to make these dives a reality, and KT not playing with respect, pushed up too far, and they can't get under their turret in time. So this is all going to team composition plan so far for Longzhu. Yep. Excellent start to this game.
Looking really good.
There's nothing that Alistar and that Ashe can do this early in the game against that, especially if there's no ability for Fly to respond to his TP because he just had to TP back into mid.
So where does Longzhu go from here? Do they just keep ganking lanes and eventually wear them down?
Yeah, we got a lot of options. The main concern now is that Someday is even
Someday
in CS.
in a little bit of trouble. Flame waiting, gets the parlay. Someday trying to make it out. He's got his flash, so he should be able to escape.
Yeah, he's not going to be too concerned. But Flame actually just all-inning right at level 6 before Someday can reach that level and get some nice damage down to push him back underneath the turret. Chaser wasn't quite there in time. And Someday is slowly healing back up with the help of that corrupting potion.
Yep. Because it doesn't corrupt you, it only corrupts who you hit.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know if I would drink something called corrupting potion.
Yeah, sounds a bit dangerous. If you're trying to save his pink ward, and he does for the moment anyway. Yeah, the marketing team for that potion really need to go back to the drawing board, I think. Have some delicious corrupting potion. Don't worry, it won't corrupt you, just your lane opponents. Yeah, I'm not so sure I believe that.
It'll corrupt your enemies if
That's
you
right.
drink it. Don't know about that.
But at what cost? I don't think it's worth it.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Fly gonna try and save this bottom turret right now. Coco lurking at the blue buff, and man, they are just getting bossed around by a Chaser.
Well, it's pretty nice. I mean, they threaten bot lane enough to make KT respond, and then they use that pressure to take the blue buff. Longzhu is just
They're shot
totally
calling.
in control.
This Longzhu has really developed as a team because
Yeah.
you could see that individual talent, and we knew it was going to take some time to develop these synergies. They had so many star players that there were inevitably going to be some issues with the roster when it came to coordination, but you have to say now their shot calling has gotten super good.
Yeah.
And you can really see that in this early game where they are just playing the pressure game incredibly well as a team. And they've turned it into a couple buffs right now already. So KT's got to turn this around. They need to get this Fiora rolling, and now that CS differential starting to open up between Flame and Someday because he's had to be played so safely as they turned their attention to the bottom side. And Flame won the little duel there right after he hit 6 and forced Someday before hitting 6 himself to use all of those charges on his potion. Meanwhile, Flame was just sitting there with a full flask himself, and that meant Someday couldn't really go in to trade on the wave, and Flame getting really far ahead now.
Yep. Kind of looking like the Flame of yesteryear, huh?
I miss that Flame. I hope he comes back.
It seems like he's on his way. Maybe not with Rise anymore this season, but GP isn't a bad replacement.
Yeah, scary situation to have GP this far ahead. Coco is just being such a jerk too. Just standing in that brush. What he's doing right now by just standing in that brush is exerting a ridiculous amount of pressure on the map because they don't know where Chaser is. Coco, they have to be worried about this dive at every possible second. Someday going to walk up now.
Yeah. No room to really dive this, it looks like, but they do get a nice chunk of damage done to the bottom turret.
Yeah, just without the minion waves there with a blackout of wards on the bottom side, it's just a nightmare for Someday to try and play or even farm when Coco insists on doing that. You know that the gate could be coming in at literally any moment.
Yep.
Fly not actually able to kill that ward right there, gets scared.
Wards are scary, man. Takes you, those 5 hits are a pretty tense moment when you're trying to clear that ward, you know?
Takes a long time.
Yeah.
So he actually just asked for help from Score here to clear it instead.
Yep.
Smart.
Why not?
They just don't want to get a Cocoon gank because the Cocoon could just come over the wall right there and then Twisted Fate ports in and then die. So that actually is a smart play, very conservative play, but a smart play by Fly, just not even to give an opportunity.
Well, Flame harassing Someday again, just pushing him out of lane.
Somebody still has his ult though.
Yep. But doesn't look like he can go toe-to-toe with this Gangplank quite yet.
Interesting to me that Flame is using his ultimate so liberally on the wave. And he's doing this just to continuously get a farm advantage over Someday, but it's denying the possibility of perhaps a gank somewhere else on the map. But now that we see that Arrow and Hichani have both hit level 6, getting an effective gank off or a turret dive gank off with GP ult and TF ult is less likely than it was previously.
Arrow comes through. Wow, Coco
nice reaction.
dodges that at the last second, yeah.
Wow, that was, so KT knew that play was coming through a pink warded brush, so they 100% knew that Coco was not going to be able to see that arrow until the last second, and he still manages to get away.
That is some pretty fast reflexes.
That is a good arrow. The aim was true for Arrow, but the reflex is there for Coco. And now they're going to try, without that Ash arrow, to apply some pressure into the top lane.
And Chaser coming up, helping clear some wards. Kira's already there. Score, waiting. Thinking about coming in.
He knows he hasn't been seen because of that Raptor buff that he has.
Being very sneaky.
He's in a very small shadow right now, but...
How does Gragas fit in that shadow?
There he goes.
Oh, seen now, yeah.
Gotta get seen in the end, but... Didn't feel like making the play there. Gragas is level 8, so definitely could have done something, especially with Twisted Fate having recalled.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go for the all-in, but they're still waiting on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm kind of thinking with no ultimate from Arrow's Ash at the moment. Better to wait. Here we go, though. Oh, Kira and Jack playing it safe. They are a little bit ahead, so why not?
Realistically, that gank wasn't going to go through, though. Just a little bit of harassment until that ult is back up, which it is now. Now they can start thinking about making this play, but they're just wards everywhere. Score's been seen at every angle now.
Yeah, he has.
And they can't dive this Twisted Fate, motioning towards that bottom side.
Calling Hughes, going to go in, flash body slam, nice barrel to push Pure and Captain Jack back. Captain Jack running immediately. Teleport coming in for Longzhu, though. Coco's on the scene, now Score caught. He's going to get taken out. Whoa, Wild Growth saves him. Hachani and Fly still in a bit of trouble. Hachani with the re-engage, pops that Alistar ultimate, and we're not done yet. Arrow and Fly so low, though. Coco claims one victim. Meanwhile, down in bot lane, Longzhu goes after Someday. They're going to finally get him with Flame. Meanwhile, a double kill for Coco as Longzhu strikes back in a big way. There is nearly an ace through various skirmishes in different parts of the map. Only Score escapes with his life.
That was so tricky from Coco. What he did was, okay, watch this. Watch where Coco is on the map. He fades down to the bottom side, so they think he's going bottom, and then he just TPs to the turret instead. Changes his mind, doesn't make the play on the bottom lane, and sends Chaser bottom instead. And they just can't quite kill Captain Jack, unfortunately for them. For KT, they come back in with the re-engage, but there's no support. The GP ult was well placed, cuts them off from all possible re-engagements right there. Very well played by Flame.
Now Coco uses that gate to get in there for the kill on the Arrow.
Really nicely played by Coco. That was such a tricky thing he did right there. Now they knew his TP was up, but it really looked like they were trying to make a play on the bottom lane, and so it looked safer for KT than it actually was. But that change of heart and the dedication to the top lane, and even without the GP ult, Chaser and Flame are able to hunt down Someday, and now this is turning into a rout.
Yeah, it certainly is. 6,000 gold ahead at 15 minutes. That's gonna up their stat, isn't it?
Just to add insult to injury too, against KT, they lost the bottom lane turret. So it's pretty much a disaster right now for KT Rolster. Unfortunately, the play they tried to make didn't work, and it was countered by the basically more globals that Longzhu had, and Someday didn't have his TP up to respond to that in the top lane.
Yeah, Longzhu's goal difference at 15 stat has been going up there. Second in the league right now with 996, and after this game, that's definitely going to go up a bit.
Yeah, certainly will, and that's just a testament to their season so far. They've done well in the laning phase. It's just they've had a little bit of trouble closing out games based on coordination, but man, they look on point tonight.
Yeah, they do.
And if Longzhu can win this, I think you make a case for them being the second best team in Korea.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Longzhu versus Janair. ASAP. Oh, Flame goes up for more damage onto Someday. Might have stretched a bit too far. Drops that GP ult, though. Seems like he'll be okay. Here comes Chaser. And they can't really dive this or anything.
Flame's been doing really well with his GP ultimates. Very good use to apply pressure in this game to continuously shut down Someday. And even in that engagement on the top side, perfect placement on that dive. And and enabled a lot of the kills that were able to come through and prevented KT from even getting as deep in that dive as they wanted to and picking up some kills of their own.
Yeah, that mid lane turret is nearly dead. Here comes Coco coming in with the Twisted Fate. Sunday's just got no chance at all. Riposte's the gold card, I believe, but Flame still gets the kill. Riposte's something.
I think he got the wild cards. Coco threw them out first.
Arrow onto Pure. That's probably not the person you want to catch, though. Pure gets a chance to use that Braum ult, still gets taken down. So it ends up being 1 for 1, but the kill onto Someday probably a little bit more valuable overall.
Yes, shut down the Fiora. They also take the turret in the top side, so a huge win there, 7-1. Now the kills, that lead just getting bigger and bigger as the towers start to fall. CS now denied in the top side too. And Longzhu sets their sights onto this Rift Herald. See who gets it, whether it's going to be Chaser or Flame. Flame's just having a great game.
Yeah, he is. He really is. I mean, he's back in Korea, and he's kind of looking like the Flame that we had before he went to China.
I really just like the way he played this matchup. And that's a 50 CS lead here in under 20 minutes for a GP, which, as you may know, only means bad things, because that gold difference is going to be enormous when you consider the parlay passive gold that's coming in.
Krug, get out of lane.
And not to
you don't
mention
belong
that
in the lane, Krug.
He's 2-0-3.
Yep.
Yeah, no Krugs in lane.
No Krugs allowed. Now there goes mid lane turret, and that's going to unleash Coco on this game even more on that Twisted Fate. 2-0-4, he's been having a pretty great game. Of course. And it looks like we're going to see Longzhu maybe go for this first dragon.
Went out a bit late. Later than average here in Korea, but it's been all about the globals, and here we go again.
GP ult, and Coco comes up with that teleport, just going to go right onto Someday for another easy kill. Coco claiming that one. And it's just becoming so simple to farm Someday up in the top lane. Fly laughing about it, but I don't know if maybe laughter or tears. Nice dodge, wow. Chaser gets out of that one with the repel.
And while that looks weird, when we take a look at that, the hitbox for the Ash arrow is actually in the middle of the arrow. It's not at the tip. So that's why you can make plays like that. The tip touching you actually doesn't do anything. It will not stun you. It will not land. It's actually closer. I think the hitbox is closer to the fletching than anything else on the arrow. So it's toward the backside of it, really. So yes.
I'd say they should change that.
I think they should change that too, Dylan.
Yeah. I would totally play more support Ashe if they did.
Well, Dylan, I don't think they should change that. For the good of Korean solo queue.
That's okay. Nobody wants to play support in Korean solo queue anyway, so you really get your pick. Longzhu just in complete control of this game right now. A cool 9,000 gold lead as they push down towards some of these tier 2s.
What are they going to do? I mean, they're just getting bullied out right now. Jack
Braum ultimate
turned into a snowman. But look at the pressures coming in. There's very few ways for KT to deal with this, continuously getting their turrets chipped. Flame is... he should be pushing out more right now so that Fiora can't just walk down into the mid lane and help clear out with the Titanic Hydra.
He's moving now.
Yeah, but not the best coordination on the turret push right there. They could have probably damaged them a little bit more. Someday now prepping this red buff, and who will get it? Ooh, I don't know if I give that to Someday. Destiny is back up, and
I mean,
we know what that means.
Yeah. I feel like they're just trying to give Someday any little edge they can to try to get him back in. You know, I mean, he's their damage. If he doesn't have a fighting shot at winning any engagements, KT has nothing.
It's true, but Longzhu has had that read on him the entire game, and they have done really good work in shutting him down.
Well, Arrow can totally own that ward. Well, if you can see it anyway, I guess.
But this should be, especially with the Lichbane Zhonya's done, some more time for diving and split pushing.
Yep.
Courtesy of Longzhu, and you can see, so they slow push that top wave. Gangplank is scared to go up there because he doesn't have vision right now. You see Flame sort of waiting, and he's waiting for the other lanes to get set up. So now that they've got people, well, except for Coco. Coco should be pushing right now. He is instead just being scary in a bush. Now here is the 3-lane pressure that they could have set up earlier. Took a little bit, but.
Well, Flame is pretty far ahead item-wise, too. I mean, if you look at that, he's got his Trinity Force and another BF Sword on top of it, so he'll be putting out some good damage. And that turret is already very low.
This is great for Longzhu. You see Chaser just moving lane to lane, using that ranged auto attack to help out on the turrets. And that's what should have happened before, but it took a little bit longer to develop.
Yep, and at this point, the map belongs to Longzhu Gaming. And all they need is to kind of...
It's 11,000 gold lead at 22 minutes.
Yeah, they just need to methodically close this one out.
Should be pretty elementary, my dear Doa.
Of course. And Chaser gets knocked up. KT trying to engage, but nope, there's Repel. Does Watson reply to anything when Sherlock says elementary, my dear Watson? I don't know. Watson's like, yep, pretty much. Yeah.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. If you get shot, I'll patch you up, I guess.
Watson's the badass, though. He's the one who always has the gun.
That's true. I am a doctor, after all.
Dr. Doa.
Dr. Doa.
That's right. I would not consult you for medical advice.
Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of medical advice you need.
Any.
If you need me to point out different parts of the body or organs, I can definitely do that. I learned that in school. I can tell you the difference between a spleen and a liver, but I couldn't fix one if it was in trouble. So my doctoring skills are limited, believe it or not. If you scrape like your elbow or something, I'm like, all right, let's get some Neosporin stat and a Band-Aid.
Wow.
A little bit of water.
In that order?
Well, yeah, I mean, you need to rehydrate after cleaning it up and putting a bandage over the wound, you know?
All right, great.
Yeah, see? Dr. Doa, don't worry. See, I feel like if I ever make like a cool puzzle video game, that's what I'll call it, Dr. Doa.
Please no. It'll be a lot like Operation.
No, it'll just be one of those microtransaction games, you know?
Operation Microtransaction.
That's right. Then I can make the billions. That's the plan.
I feel like if it was actually to legitimately represent your doctoring skills, it would be like playing Operation using oven mitts.
Dragon for Longzhu. They're going for their second. That's going to help them push those turrets down even quicker. I do use oven mitts, but not for surgery, for actually baking. Things like that. I make a pizza sometimes. Bake a cake. You want those oven mitts on before you grab that pan. It can be kind of hot.
Great, so now we've gone into Chef Doa land too.
That's right. Well, I'm a great cook. That's the truth.
Let's not abuse the word great, Noah.
No, I am.
Gordon Ramsay is a great cook. You are not a great cook.
No, Gordon Ramsay is a professional cook.
Okay.
I'm a great cook. Hawkshot spies Longzhu. Chani goes in for the engage. Here comes Twisted Fate, though. Coco trying to bail out his team now. Gold card onto Hachani. Pure in the backline suit. Captain Jack barely alive. Flame managed to pick up the kill onto Arrow, but now it's all about Captain Jack and Pure trying to escape someday and score. I don't know if Pure's going to make it out, though. No, I don't think so. The grand challenge has been completed.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a 2-for-1 trade, even though it was initiated by KT. And now they are stuck here.
Uh-oh.
And it's going to be the great someday escape.
Yeah, you shouldn't have too much trouble making it out.
Looks like they're just going to let score go.
Okay.
All right, it's Flame's job. He's hunting fencers.
Someday hunting. There we go. He finds him. That's some decent damage. Flame's like, ha, I can flash over the wall. Pirate attack. Goodbye, Someday. Oh, repulsed and dead. Good. There we go.
Meanwhile, another turret goes down in the mid lane as they just decide it's better use of their time to rush down objectives. I approve, Longzhu Gaming.
Hey, man. Flame is back, dude. 4-0-5 on this gangplank.
Coco's been so good, too.
Yep.
And Chaser, the whole team just playing nicely together.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're really witnessing over the last couple weeks KT kind of moving down a bit in their gameplay, and Longzhu on the up and up.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think a large part of that is Fly, honestly. Like, Fly just doesn't exert any pressure on the map, and he messed up in that mid lane gank, and because he died that early on and he had to use his TP and flash that quickly, it just gave Coco a free ult, basically.
Yep.
And the entire point of that matchup is you want to have the better wave clear, the better presence in lane with Lulu, so you can force Coco to use his ult in unsatisfying or ineffective ways. Arrow, bush lurking.
Well, Rock's Tigers would have already closed the game out by now, but I guess it's going to take Longzhu a little bit longer.
Yeah, they don't even have the excuse of having a scaling composition because the Rocks Tigers are playing Juggernaut, so...
Yeah, that's true. It's still a 24-minute game. That said, the turrets are going to burn down pretty quick. And are we going to see any sort of engage? Someday was on the bottom side of the map without a teleport. Couldn't really help his team out. Oh, yeah, and Bramall used. There's Coco coming in from behind. Gnazonius right away after the engage. That's going to give Pure a chance to get in there. GPL drop to Chani on the disengage. Already a kill on to score, and there goes the Alistar as well. It's suddenly 5v3. As long as you can just back off and take this Baron if they want to.
They should definitely just go for the Baron right now.
A little bit safer that way.
You killed the jungle, you killed the support, you have plenty of HP. There's no reason to try and break the base at the moment when they still have their wave clear up. So, yep, this is the right call.
Yep, should be a fairly simple Baron. Fly and Arrow coming in, though. Someday is there. They've got a chance to try. This Baron not dying too quickly, actually. Longzhu, man, they've got some low health people. They get the Baron. Can they make it out, though? Yeah, they're turning around. Onto Arrow, onto Fly. Here comes Someday back in onto Captain Jack. Wild Growth used on Someday, but it's still not enough. Another kill for Captain Jack's Lucian. Make that a double. They do get Coco in the end. Flash Cocoon onto Fly. Nicely played by Chaser. They're going to pick up this Lulu. Triple kill now for Captain Jack. And man, I mean, KT, it's like one tiny toe forward and then, you know, a couple miles back.
They got the one kill onto Coco, which I suppose is nice because
Makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good, and it stops the 1-3-1 split push. That's helpful, actually. Killing that TF in this scenario when they really just want to split up the map is useful because they won't have the Baron buff in that lane, but it is a very, very minor victory in what is currently a 17,000 gold deficit for KT Rolster.
All right, let's watch that fight one more time. I mean, Longzhu played it a little bit dangerously with this Baron, but they're so far ahead.
Yeah, they are. And Someday tries to go in onto Captain Jack, but Captain Jack has a cleanse there, easily able to get out of any scenario. Coco goes back in for the gold card and dies, but Chaser here, we didn't get to see it. What a great Flash Cocoon, though.
Yeah, he's really been on fire with this Elisis game, 1-0-10. Looking very good. Very, very good. And so Longzhu just clearing out KT's jungle yet again. And they'll be able to start pushing pretty much now.
Wow, Flame is huge. Sterk's Gauge now done. Lost that CS lead because he's been more active in these team fights, but 5-0 and 8 GP at 30 minutes. Can't complain about that one.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to hit the Flame Horizon if you're getting all these kills. Certainly hitting the Flame Horizon in gold, if not actual CS.
Yeah.
Get the money either way.
That is one fed GP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's just nobody's going to touch him up in the top lane either. Coco's got that gold card loaded up, throws it in onto Someday. Doesn't really do too much damage, but
well, he got the riposte, so
it's all about just splitting the attention of KT, though.
Move Chaser in for the actual Baron buff on the minion
damage.
wave too. Coco is enormous.
Yeah. It does seem like turrets are falling a little bit quicker too with that second dragon buff. Chani trying to go for the engage on Captain Jack. Captain Jack just goes ahead and dodges right out of the way.
Pretty textbook closure here from Longzhu Gaming.
Yep, very methodical. And not slow at all. Chaser double Pure immediately leaps to his aid. There's a Q into Chani. Knockup comes in from Braum. Another kill for Captain Jack. He's having a monster game on the solution. GP ult drop just in case. And at minimum, they're going to walk away with this bottom inhibitor and the mid inhibitor.
And the top turret.
And why not the top inhibitor too?
There's no stopping this split push. They're just way too far ahead when it comes to gold, and they've got the perfect opposition to do this.
That's right. Can they end right here? We'll see. Well, I guess if you catch Arrow like that, you can. Even Wild Growth U's couldn't keep him alive.
Everybody flashing for that
Fly,
one.
fly, fly, gonna die. And there goes Nexus turret number 1, Nexus turret number 2, soon to follow at Longzhu with a very clean close over KT Rolster here in game number 1.
Coco stunned himself.
Nice try. Nice try, Coco. All right, they want more kills. Flame gets another one, didn't have enough. Captain Jack being a little bit silly here. Hey guys, the Nexus is still up.
Please end the game.
What? Chaser getting low. It's all on Flame now, and Flame and Pure barely kill the Nexus. Got a bit silly at the end. Flame smiles for once.
Yeah, Coco stunned himself with a gold card on the repose, so they got punted into the fountain at the end of that game. But dust settles, Flame doesn't die, 6-0-9. Really, really good performance against Someday.
Yeah. Pretty huge game for Longzhu, and you know, after that win over SK Telecom, looking even better.
Problem with KT is they just have no mid pressure. And Fly's mistake cost them so much in that game. And they never recovered. Once Coco was out on the map, they were just diving left and right, dealing the damage. Flame played a great GP.
Yeah. Nagne, where are you? KT needs you.
They got to do something, because what they're doing right now is just not working. Their strategies are very transparent, and the burden is way too much on Someday to carry this team.
I got an idea. You pick up Nagne, you pick up Peekaboo, and then you just have last year's team, and you do much better. That should be, if I'm KT management, that's my plan right now. Get the band back together for the second round here.
Go reclaim Dade off of the bench in China.
He's languishing. See, Flame is living proof. You can bring players back from China and they can succeed again. So we'll see if that happens in game 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back right after this.